I don't want.
Hey, it's Bianca, and this is a story about how I manifested my new car. Well, I guess technically I should say it's Jordan's car, but like it's kind of like a duo deal, and I feel like my brain and my energy led him to this car. So it all started when the DoorDash vehicle of all time finally died. Finally, it was just like RIP, bless your soul. I'm going to heaven, girlfriend. You guys know from my DoorDash videos, my Postmates videos, that like we kind of had some trouble with the car along the way. It was very, very loud. People would complain in the videos about how loud it was. So we ended up getting like a new flex pipe for it, and it was a whole new exhaust system, and it was just like crazy. And we kind of like definitely probably like that probably shouldn't have been a thing. Like it's not that easy, and it's obviously not that affordable
to just like go on a whim and buy a new car because your car's making noise.
We did not have the energy, the mental capacity until recently, aka a week and 2 days ago. We ended up buying a new car, and it is so cute and I love it, and it's so mwah. So let me take you through the steps of how I actually really manifested this car. So we took a few weeks off, let our brains recharge, and we started not looking for cars, but thinking about the cars that we wanted, thinking about the car that we pictured ourselves being in. I love white cars. I only want a white car. So every time I pictured a car in my head, what I really wanted to drive, what I really wanted to feel comfortable in, it was always white, and it was always an SUV or a crossover, mainly because Jordan and I love to take road trips, we love to go places, and we have a dog. So we want to bring him places. It was very hard to do in a small, like regular car. Don't know what Jordan was picturing, but I know he in his brain was like SUV. I cannot take all the credit for the actual like physical work, because Jordan spent 8 hours for 2 days straight, 8 hours one day, 8 hours another day, so 16 hours total, which is actually my lucky number, which I don't know if it relates here, but I'm gonna mention it because
we're being fun and crafty.
He spent 16 hours on the computer searching for the car of his dreams in his price range, and we found it. We actually found 2 of them, and that's the point of the story that I'm trying to make, is that we fucking manifested the shit out of it, that the universe was like, bam, that's yours. Bam, that could be yours too. Actually, physically, we narrowed it down to a bunch of SUVs, some of the colors I hated, so I was like, X out, X out. I don't care how good of a deal this is. I hate the color blue. I'm never getting a blue car again. Fuck red. Like, that was the vibe. I was like, okay, cool. We have these 2 white Nissan Rogues. Tab open, tab open. One of them is an SL and one of them is an S. One of them is like better than the other and a lower price, and one of them is the lesser model but a little more expensive, let's say $400 more expensive. So I was like, okay, obviously we're gonna look at the cheaper one and the better model first, and it was in Brooklyn. So we took a little trip down to Brooklyn, and the day before we were going to Brooklyn, the only car I saw on the road was a Nissan Rogue. The only car, because I was just thinking about it. I physically manifested this by straight up every night before I went to sleep, I was picturing myself driving around in this Nissan. I was like, this is mine. And I was so under the impression that I already had the car, and I felt like Jordan was catching my energy and doing the same thing. This
sounds crazy for people who like don't believe in the universe and like things like this,
but I straight up, all I was thinking about was this car. I wasn't thinking about filming. I didn't even film. I took like the entire weekend off. I wasn't even working. I was just thinking about this car. Once we see the car, we're like, wow, it looks awesome. And then we start looking closer at it. We're like, ooh, it's a little fucked up. Okay. The guy takes it out. It's like a young boy. And we were like, okay, this is like weird, like. Anyway, me and Jordan sit in the car, we go for a test drive. As soon as he opens the driver's door, I see like rust on the floor. I'm like, what the fuck, did this car drown in the ocean? Like, are you in Coney Island? Like, did the car go for a swim? So I'm like, that's a little weird. I'm like, all right, whatever, I'm gonna use it as a thing to get the price down to like really cheap. This is fantastic. Start the car, sounds fine, drives well. The more I'm looking around, I'm like wearing my mask, and I'm just kind of like doing the thing where like the guy in the back can't see my face, and how like kind of disgusted I am at the car and like very disappointed. I'm just like looking around with my eyes. I'm playing with all the buttons. I'm turning the music on. I know nothing about cars. I just know I need a radio. I need the speakers to not be blown out, and I need it to not make any weird noises. Luckily, Jordan's dad was there. He opened the hood, and the hood looked disgusting. Like once we stopped driving the car and the engine was off, it was like corroded and gross. And I was like, and then I started getting a really bad feeling, and I was like Great. The car that I manifested ended up being like ass backwards because all I was thinking about was driving around looking pretty in it, and I wasn't thinking about the practicality of it being perfect. I mean, no used car is going to be perfect, but like it needs to be perfect enough to where you're not buying a car that's worse than your old car. So I was like, fuck, I did it all backwards. Like, I'm really disappointed. And then all my energy felt so drained and I was just so upset. Walked away from like the deal. We didn't even like call the guy to make an offer. Like, it was a very weird situation and we weren't into it. So we left, we went to Roll and Roaster. I ate cheese fries and then we went to Carvel and I felt a little bit better. I'm gonna keep my energy so fucking high because I really like the Nissan brand. I was like, I'm done with all these other cars. Like, I want a Nissan now. I was like, Nissan gang gang. Ding, ding, ding. Once we got home, I remembered that we saw a second white Nissan Rogue, the lesser model, for $400 more in another tab that we had open. Guess where it was?
Guess where it was? It was on Staten Island.
Guess where I live? I live on Staten Island.
Maybe I needed to see the Brooklyn car to be disappointed that when I saw the Staten Island car, I'll be so happy. So the next day, Jordan and I woke up. We said, you know what? We have nothing else to do today. I have my sister's car that I can borrow to go drive around and look at more cars. So you know what? It's a pretty nice day out, Bianca. You want to go take a trip down to blah, blah, blah to go and see this car? I'm not buying it. I have $5,000 in my bag, but I'm not buying it. We went there manifesting the fact that we could get this car for $5,000 because we have $5,000 just in our pocket right now, just driving, moseying along to go look at this white Nissan Rogue that I've been thinking about for the past week. We went there with little to no intentions, no expectations, no nothing. We were like, you know what? We need a breather. Let's just me and you go together. And me and you together are very positive people. We're very bubbly. We're very fun. Maybe it'll just be a nice day, a nice trip down to the other side of the island to go look at some cars. On the way there, we see a bunch of Nissan Rogues on the highway. We see so many Nissan Rogues leaving Jordan's neighborhood. And I'm like,
damn.
we get there, we look at the car, it is drop dead fucking gorgeous. You know, a few scuffs here and there, but like everybody's got their scars. So who am I to judge? I'm looking at her, I'm like, wow, she's really pretty. I'm like, she's really pretty. I really like her. And then I'm looking at the car more and more, and then we get in the car to test drive it. As soon as we get in the car, I'm like, holy shit. This is the car that I've been picturing in my dreams and in my daydreams when I'm driving around, hanging out, having a good time. Except the fact that in my car daydream, there was a sunroof. The car that we ended up getting doesn't have a sunroof, but I was so in love and so infatuated that I didn't even notice that it didn't have a sunroof. Like, I just didn't notice. Like, it was just something that I was just like, this is it. But the guy was so nice, and the way that Jordan and I speak to people are just so like personable. It's not to like toot our own horns, but some people are just, they go in super aggressive because they're like, I'm gonna get the best deal. But like, for me personally, it's just about like telling this person, man, like I fucking need a car. And I'm obviously a young kid and I've never done this before and I really don't know much about cars, but like, you're a mechanic, you have a nice dealership here. All these other cars are really beautiful, but they're out of my price range and I fucking love this car. The car came in 4 days before Jordan and I went to go see it. I think we were like the first people to see it or to like show physical interest in that we were there right then and there. So we made a deal and we went home with the car the next day, and the guy was so awesome. He just like kind of did it all for us because we really don't know what the fuck we're doing. We were just like negotiating with him. I mean, I know what I'm doing when I'm negotiating, but I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to like registering a car and doing all that stuff. So he just kind of like did it for us. The car was listed for $6,000. I got it for $5,400. Contact me if you ever need somebody to get a price down. I am so happy. It is so gorgeous, and I'm going to be doing a car tour in a separate video just because I feel like this like doesn't align with it. It's just like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like the video is gonna be too long and I really want you guys to like dive into the car tour and see how cute. It's 2009. So that's like a really good point in my life, I think, maybe. In 8th grade going into 9th grade, that was like a really good year for me. I just resonate with shit like that so much. And obviously it's not really like a new car. So like, I feel like some of you guys are like, oh my God, like calm down. That's not even a nice car. But like for me, this is perfect and this is amazing. And this is exactly what I manifested. And I just like, this just goes to show, if you focus your energy on something so important to you or something that's like so specific and so this and so that, it'll come, and it'll come to you because it's the only thing you're thinking about. And if you stop thinking about it, that's when the universe is like, oh, I guess she doesn't really care about it that much, so like she could wait. I was just picturing like this really gorgeous white car with like nice clean big windows. I might end up probably changing the radio out and putting like a backup cam in it just because like I want to do that. And yeah, that's how I manifested my new car. And I think it probably sounds silly and it probably sounds dumb, but I did not do any method that I've previously done on this channel. Like I didn't write anything down in my book. I didn't specifically write things down and make it like that. It was just all mind power. My brain did all the work for me. I did not need to write anything down for it. Jordan did partially of the work, obviously, because he looked things up, but I think he was able to sift through cars better because I was so specific on what I could see myself in and what he could see himself into. So we're both very happy about it. And again, I'm going to be posting a car tour sooner or later on this channel if you guys are interested in that. Maybe we'll make a Postmates video in it. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see. Now we could actually like go places, and I'm so happy. This manifestation series, and I'm going to keep diving more and more into it. So this was just like a separate entity of manifestation. So I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did at any point, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and follow me over on Instagram. It would mean so much to me, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.